Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in here. I'm lighting my sage here. Church, please. Stop tearing stuff up. You're going to break something and then you're going to get hurt. I got boxes and boxes of glass items. Sorry, my sage is really long today. Don't know how to. All right. Okay. So hey, reality, how are you doing? Okay. Before we get started, I want to say something that just came up here. I want to share this picture, and then I want to try to. Oh, I didn't share the picture, did I? What did I do with it? I lost the picture. Where did it go? Well, darn it, I lost it. All right, let's just listen to this. Oh, it says my browser blocked it from. Okay, let's listen. I'll bring this up. All right. Church, please. Is it going to play? Oh, wait.
She's missing from Wichita, Kansas. Missing since May 15th, 2025. Age
Is she found? Oh, you pray she's found? I pray she's found too. Stop it, praise it, please. All right. It's sad that came across my phone today as an alert because they just put a poster out for her, and I had the poster pulled up, but um, somehow with help of my kitty cat, my wonderful kitty cat, I was able to delete the poster. But it didn't have any of her information on it. Didn't have her weight or height or anything like that. And her hair was pulled back like mine is, so you couldn't tell what color it was. Church, please. Now I have to work, baby. You can lay there and sleep, but quit biting me. Church, please. Stop biting me. I already look like hamburger. Lay down. All right. Okay. I was listening on one of those build your channel pages, and they said that the Fair Use Act is not, there's no such thing. That's something somebody came up with to say I can use it, but if you go to court, it's up to the courts to decide whether you used it fairly or not. So they said it's just wasteless to try to use the Fair Use Act. Um, so, all right. Church, please stop biting me. When my son's home, he's with my son a lot, so I don't have to fight him as much, but he's just a baby. He's just a baby. Okay. I've got 3 people in here. Thank you for being here. Hit the thumbs up. Reality Wins. It's in chat today. She was telling me about this story from Arizona from yesterday. And I found 4 news articles on here. My moderator found where one YouTube content creator has followed the case. So, and it's something we need to bring awareness to. So, without further ado, let's come up here, bring this up on stage. All right. I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up here. All right, there we go. So, okay, pull this up full screen. And
an unusual story here. New details about a murder plot thought up by 5th grade girls at a West Valley school. The girls accused of planning to stab their classmate and to try to make it look like a suicide.
12 News journalist Gabriella Beccari is live in Surprise with the latest on this case. This is just unbelievable, Gabriella.
It is, Tram and Troy, and according to the Surprise police report, one of the suspects allegedly had just broken up with the boy they were targeting. Some of the suspects.
okay, I'm trying not to get copyright strike here, but they said it just broke up, and then they plotted.
Suspects told officers they didn't think they were going to go through with this plan, and they were too scared to tell an adult what was going on. A conversation between 4 5th grade girls at recess turned into a criminal investigation. According to a newly obtained police report, the girls are accused of plotting to kill their classmate at Legacy Traditional School in West Surprise by luring him into an outside bathroom and stabbing him in the stomach. Quote,
I wish there was a way we could block words from here. Hello, coffee, crime, and cats. Hello, hello, hello. I wish there was a way we could mute out words that shouldn't be said on here. I don't. Hi, Manda Panda.
and him is what they allegedly agreed upon while sitting at a lunch table on October 1st, 2024. Each of the girls had a role in the plan, which included wearing gloves to hide fingerprints, forging a suicide note, and having lookouts. The plan didn't pan out because another classmate overheard their conversation and told her parent and the school resource officer. The arresting officer notes 3 of the girls and their families appeared remorseful and apologized, but one girl smiled, laughed, and made excuses.
In 5th grade, you're starting to really put a lot of emphasis and care about what your peers think about you.
Child and adolescent psychiatrist Dr. Mark Anderson tells me this time in a child's life can be difficult as they're susceptible to challenges of peer pressure and they still don't fully know right from wrong.
Pay attention to potential warning signs. And if you're seeing that there might be an issue, then and you don't know what to do, there are doctors like myself. There are a lot of people in the community that are here to help parents, to help families, and to help the kids.
And a spokesperson for Legacy Traditional Schools tells me the safety and well-being of their students is their top priority and that they acted immediately and appropriate with the help of law enforcement on this matter from last year. I also talked to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, who tells me misdemeanor charges were referred to them last year, and this case has since been adjudicated.
Okay. My moderator brought up to me, she wonders if this Legacy is a private school. I didn't look it up to find out if it was a private school or not, but she said it looked like it might have been. All right, good boy. Hello, hello. You're muted.
Hello, hello, hello. Is this in Arizona?
Oops. Hold on. I'm muting you. I'm not meaning to. You said what?
Thank you, reality.
Maricopa County is Phoenix area in Arizona. Um, did you look up, Amanda, to see if that was a private school or did you not have time? I mean, we were on the phone right up until just a minute ago.
No Legacy Traditional School in Arizona is not a private school. It's a public charter school.
Oh, might as well be private school.
Legacy Traditional Schools are a network of tuition-free K through 8th grader schools. They operate under a charter grant. So I'm going to assume kind of.
Okay. So it's, see, here in Nowhereville, Kansas, we have to pay to send our kids to school. I have to pay $120 a year for him to go to school.
Hey, reality. How
Okay,
are you
I'll bring up
today?
another one. All right, this is from TooFab. It doesn't sound like it'd be a very worthwhile news station, but I guess they are. I've gotten several of my resources from them. It says fifth grade girls plan to unalive boy over breakup and make it look like he did it himself. And this is the police department. Oh no, that's the school. The police officers at the school. Okay, that's a big old school. Okay, I thought this had a. Well, I thought this had a video with it, but I guess not. The girls, all between the ages of 10 and 11, allegedly agreed to just end him, with each of them given a specific role in the plan. Okay, we just heard all that on that other news thing. Uh, they allegedly had the plot to kill the fellow student over a parent relationship woe, and makes it look like unalive, like he did it himself.
Make sure you read that date right there. I'm honed in on that.
October 2024.
Yeah. Can somebody explain to us why we're just now hearing about this and why those kids went to school for the remainder of the year and this didn't get made public?
That's a good question. Because that was like not long after school started. Oh, wait. It says in October 2024, four girls between the ages of 10 and 11 were arrested for what the Sunrise Police Department called at the time a plan to carry out an act of violence towards a fellow fifth grade student. So they were arrested in 2024.
Correct. Now, we're only just now hearing about this.
Yeah, but they
That
didn't get to
means,
go to school.
okay, so when you're that young, usually you get arrested and then you have further reprimandations, like they may have put them on juvenile probation or something like that. They may have been expelled. I'm not exactly sure because I couldn't really find anything other than the details that you've read. But I mean, I guess maybe we just may not know, and maybe the school was informed about this.
Okay, it says here while authorities said students were not armed and there's no threat to the school of the surrounding community. When they were arrested, police said the students admitted to making the threats of violence toward another student. Now, thanks to a newly released police report, we have the truly wild details about those alleged threats. Okay, so there's more has come out. That might be why they just got more information, maybe why we're just now finding out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, kinda.
They all had their own role. One was going to lure him to the bathroom for the poke poke. One of the four was responsible for the poke poke instrument. Another was the lookout, and the third girl would do the poking, while the fourth girl was tasked with writing a "unalive myself" note, which would be left at the scene. So they had thought it out to the best of the ability of fifth graders.
I'm glad that they're making this like public so that other parents can be aware of the types of interactions that could be taking place
Right.
and to be more diligent. And
You're right. Reality says calculating for sure.
yes, they definitely were calculating.
They were subsequently arrested on charges of threatening and misdemeanor disorderly conduct. The girls were reportedly released to their parents and suspended at the time pending expulsion. At the time of their arrest, Surprise Police Chief Benny Pena said the investigation is the result of a brave student reporting dangerous activities to their school staff, who quickly involved their assigned school resource officer to ensure the safety of the students at school. Hooray to the person that turned them in. West Surprise campus, which occurred in October 24, was addressed immediately and appropriately in accordance with the district protocol in the coordination with law enforcement. The school has not shared any additional updates on the case, while the Maricopa County Attorney's Office told 12 News that it has been closed. So the case is closed. Case is closed. I guess the girls got nothing but suspension, according to that article.
Well, I mean,
Wouldn't they forever have a record?
no. When you're a juvenile and they got with what they got charged with, it was disorderly conduct.
Exactly, reality. Exactly. That was my thought. Say what?
Now,
I'm
now, now,
presuming. I'm
there's
pres-
an
Yeah.
there's another one. There's another report there that shows that I would agree with three of them getting that lesser situation, but what some of the other reports say about the fourth, I think maybe the fourth should have maybe counseling or something.
I think they should all have counseling. They should all have gotten at least mandatory counseling. And they should have all got to spend a little bit of time in a facility where they could be counseled properly before they were released.
Did you see that report on the other three that they were very apologetic?
I saw
And
that part.
you did?
Yeah, I heard it on the first interview we heard. Okay, let's listen to this one. Um, K period period I period period L period period L. Him. It sounds like a cheerleader thing. Let's see what it has to say. Somehow I don't have no volume here.
Just end him. That was the goal of a group of 10 and 11-year-old girls who, surprise police say, wanted to kill a boy at school. The motive? He's accused of cheating on one of them, so she wants him dead. The murder plot was simple. According to the police report, 4 fifth-grade students at Legacy Traditional School's West Surprise campus planned to lure a classmate to the charter school's outside bathroom and stab him in the stomach. And each girl had a role to play to get away with it. One would bring the knife. Another would forge a suicide note to make it seem like he took his own life. And someone would act as a lookout, while the other carried out the stabbing. And to avoid fingerprints on the murder weapon, they would wear gloves. Documents say the friends came up with the plan during lunch and recess on October 1st. Legacy administrators worked with the school resource officer to investigate when students who overheard the plot came forward. The next day, their backpacks were searched and the suspects were individually questioned with their parents present. All 4 children were then arrested for threatening and disorderly conduct misdemeanor charges. The police report says 3 of the students showed remorse, but the 4th would smile and laugh while making excuses for their actions.
That's what we were just talking about. That is what we were just saying.
Yeah, that is a little bit concerning.
I agree.
It
In my opinion, they need serious therapy. Yes, reality, I agree. They need to know that behavior will not be accepted. They need to learn emotional regulations therapy too. I agree with that. I agree with that because what's going to happen if they continue to think, oh, it's just a misdemeanor if I threaten this person, and then they get out in the real world? What is going to happen? Or what's going to happen if something happens like this? What if when they become high school kids, and that's when the breakups are happening and the boyfriend, girlfriend, and all that. What's going to happen if this scenario was to play out when they were in high school? It would be a totally different situation, in my opinion. I think they all 4 need extensive therapy. Yes, they will suffer with healthy and unhealthy relationships, in my opinion. They will.
I definitely agree with that reality.
All right, I got one more.
I can't wrap my mind around kids that's their solution now.
In my opinion, I think that's why reality brought this up. I think she couldn't wrap her mind around it either. And it needs to be advanced out there that this is what, because see, normally a female mind doesn't develop enough until they're in their 20s to be able to think of something this sinister. Why are they thinking of this in there when they're 10 and 11 years old? Reality says, sorry to say it, but that is like narcissist. Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. The what's going to happen when they're high school girls? I mean, will they be able to even continue their education in that school system? Or will their parents all be forced to move? Or will they all have to be homeschooled? I know when I was that age, if I'd have thought of something like that, first off, I wouldn't have been able to sit down for a week. And second of all, I'd have been removed from being able to be around any of those other girls. My mom would never have allowed me to talk. Be right back. Gotta go check on them. Okay. My mom would never have allowed me to be around those kids again. And I'm wondering, nowadays with all the entitled children, is this a situation where each child's parents say, "Oh, my child didn't think of it. It was so and so's idea. So and so thought of it. So and so's the guilty one." Is that maybe what the parents are thinking? Is that their child's too good to have done this? Amanda, you're muted.
Oh, I don't know. Uh, I think that I'm sure that at this point they have probably discussed and rediscussed where this originated and why they thought that this was the way to handle this situation.
I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely hope, and I would hope that they got the help that they need, because reality is absolutely correct. They need other healthy outlets of how to express this anger or to express this hurt, instead of this is the option, this is the way that we need to handle this. Like, I'm dumbfounded that children are thinking this way now.
I know. Think back when you were 10. I mean, you were 10. It was a lot sooner than it was when I was 10.
Uh, I mean, and then when I opened my mouth and I let that come out, I immediately started thinking, I think there was a situation where there was a bunch of girls that took another girl into the woods and did carry something like this out when I was young.
Wow, I didn't. I lived on the other side of the state at that time, so I wouldn't have heard about that. But oh
I
my god,
don't I don't believe that it was in the city. I don't believe that it was here in the city, and I don't believe it was in Arkansas. I just feel like I remember something about a group of girls taking their friend out and actually doing this. And I feel like it was three girls. I'm looking. Hang on. I'm going to look.
it that could be the reason why so many schools are now doing a lot of counseling and trying to look for this kind of actions. Because I mean, look at Columbine. Look at what happened there in Augusta. I mean, in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Look at all these other schools that have had that same kind of situation. These girls, then I think it might have to do with the fact that they're girls as to why the same type of situation is being thought of in this manner rather than in the manner in which the way the boys all took care of it.
Okay, so I do. It was in 2014, and that's the case that I'm remembering. And it was back when the Scary Pasta site really started, and everybody was talking about the Slender Man.
Oh, CJ got into that Slender Man stuff for a while.
Well, um,
Is that when Momo was?
Well, what it was in Wisconsin, and they lured their friend into the wooded area of a park and uh poked 19 times because Slender Man told them to,
Oh my gosh.
or to appease Slender Man. But yeah, that's the one that I was thinking about. Like, I don't know if it's coming, they're getting these ideas from like those old cases, or my mind is, I cannot wrap around this.
Or are they getting it from video games?
Well, back in the day they used to say that, and they said it was the music we listened to. And
Oh, we heard that growing up. Okay. Let's listen to this last one. Um, watch on YouTube. Lurking and driving. Hi, Cinderella. Hi, welcome in. You drive careful, please. All right.
End him. That was the goal of a group of 10 and 11-year-old girls who, surprise
This
police
may be
say,
the one we
wanted to
just
kill a
listened to.
boy at school. The motive? He's accused of cheating on one of them, so she wants him dead. The murder plot was simple. According to the police report, 4 fifth-grade students at Legacy Traditional School's West Surprise campus planned to lure a classmate to the charter school's outside bathroom and stab him in the stomach. And each girl had a role to play to get away with it. One would bring the knife, another would forge a suicide note to make it seem like he took his own life, and someone would act as a lookout while the other carried out the stabbing. And to avoid fingerprints on the murder weapon, they would wear gloves. Documents say the friends came up with the plan during lunch and recess on October 1st. Legacy administrators worked with the school resource officer to investigate when students who overheard the plot came forward. The next day, their backpacks were searched and the suspects were individually questioned with their parents present. All 4 children were then arrested for threatening and disorderly conduct misdemeanor charges. The police report says 3 of the students showed remorse, but the 4th would smile and laugh while making excuses for their actions.
Okay. There's one thing that I thought of now. That was the second time we heard that exact same story. What do you think? Did you think about the one thing that they didn't think about, or one of the things that they didn't think about?
yeah, I just didn't put that out there because I'm like, I don't want to say it, because then that, heaven forbid that a child watches this and then they're like, oh, well, we need to think about that if we try to plan something like this.
Right, but if one person was going to wear gloves while they did the poke thing, and the rest of them weren't going to wear gloves, the rest of them's fingerprints would be all over that bathroom, on the door and everywhere else. So they would have gotten caught if they had gotten that far, in my opinion.
Or maybe they really did think it out and they knew that their parents' fingerprints were going to be on that poke instrument.
Oh yeah, I would imagine, because they wouldn't be able to go purchase something like that, not as 5th graders. I ordered me some sage yesterday. It just got shipped. But it's reality. Had you heard something more than what we were able to find out? Who did you say had looked it up or had reported on it? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. Welcome back, reality.
The 4th one that we had to watch was exactly the same as the 3rd one. So you didn't miss much there. You didn't hear more? It's a sad situation. I wonder where the girls are today in June of 2025.
There's one Black Society TV podcast in Arizona. Family are the two that I've seen that.
So it was basically just covered in Arizona and it's leaked out now.
I think that may be the case.
Well, it's still sad to think about that the kids this at this age. I mean,
That's what I was talking about yesterday. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. We have so many crime channels and so much going on, even just within the entertainment industry. Like the kids are sucked into this constantly now. Like there's really no way for you to monitor and be able to see exactly what they're able to look at in that type of situation.
right. Reality says scary, in my opinion. If you think about, they didn't get more severe punishments. And Coffee, Crime, and Cat says, I hope the parents are treating it seriously. Coffee, I agree with you 100%.
Right. And that's where I'm a little bit confused about this whole situation. Like, first of all, you waited so long to put this out. Like we could have been monitoring our kids because of course I monitor my kids' text messages, their Snapchat, their Instagram, their TikTok, every single account I can look into it. But I don't actually, I guess that's something that I need to make myself more aware of is I need to watch the videos or see the kind of content that they're looking into on YouTube and those types of things as well.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, I know you want to protect them 100%, but I was accused of being a helicopter parent, and you don't want to go overboard with it. You want to be on the right level. The reality says, I feel the internet has influenced many to be psycho, unhinged, and or bullies. I agree with that. I agree.
Absolutely. Yes.
We've got too many entitled people. My child wouldn't do that. My child is a good child. I know I used to babysit for somebody that said that her child would not do wrong. And if I tried to give time out, I'm the one who got in trouble. So, yeah, there is a lot. See, reality agrees with me. There's too much of my child wouldn't do that. And you hear about a lot of families. I think I even heard Chris Proudfoot say that Katie coddled Sebastian too much. Or what? Or did he say that Seth coddled Sebastian? I remember somebody coddled. Parents aren't parenting. No, they're not. The internet is parenting for the parents nowadays.
That part. That part. And they just give them the act. I in my opinion, from what I've seen, like with my children's friends, is
Mm-hmm.
they have access to it and they can just whatever. And I feel like that their parents aren't as, I feel like sometimes I'm impeding on their privacy, but I also have to put myself in check sometimes and remind myself that they don't have privacy until they're 18.
Well, think about CJ's about to turn 18. Look at the trouble I've had with him ever since I inherited him when he was 5. My dad had him playing Wii and doing things like that before when he was like 3 years old. He could play Wii bowling better than I could when he was 3 years old. And it's been computer, computer, computer all his life.
I'm just really, really grateful for parental controls, for being able to block sensitive stuff. And I'm just grateful that there are people out there that educate other parents to show them how to be proactive in these types of situations. I don't feel like enough parents are involved in depthly enough. I don't know if I worded that right.
Right. The advantage I have had with CJ growing up with his problems with his love for the internet was you were also at the time young enough that you could be on the internet at the same time he was, and you could pretty much can see more of what he was looking at than I could. And if something come up that I needed to be alerted about, you were able to let me know about it because he'd let you into his accounts and stuff like that, and you could play Roblox with him or Ninja Turtles or whatever you guys played on there.
And even in those situations, there were still some that were like, I can't
Some
believe
stuff
that
even got past you. I'll admit
yeah,
that.
it's like, I can't believe that adults are putting this out there for kids to have access to.
My son's about to be 18 and he still has to have his bedroom door open if he's going to be on the internet. Because I want to be able to, if I go to one of the bathrooms, I got 2 bathrooms on that end of the hall. If I go to one of the bathrooms, I want to be able to glance in his bedroom and see what's going on and make sure that it's age appropriate. Of course, he's going to be 18, so almost anything's going to be age appropriate in just a few weeks, which terrifies me to death. But he knows enough now. He knows right from wrong now. And I pretty much am not going to. I can say, as long as you're under my roof, things like that. But, right, church? Am I right? Ah, tell me to hush. Don't tell me to hush.
Yes, reality. She is definitely very involved.
I'm a helicopter parent. I seriously am.
And
Even
no,
to
and I
the,
don't know if I was the one that called you that, or uh but I don't say that you're a helicopter parent. I I I do say that you are involved, and it is good. Like, that's what kids need now. They need to know that their parents are right there always, in good situations and in bad situations. Their parents are there.
right, and there's nothing y'all couldn't never talk to me about. Even CJ, there's nothing he can't talk to me about. I might not like it, and I might say some harsh words, but we're going to be able to talk it out.
My thought is if this child was so troubled that their mind went to that extreme of, this is how we solve this situation.
What's their home life like?
Bingo.
Ouch! That hurt. You were kissing me and then you bit me. You were kissing me and then you bit me. Yeah, I mean, they definitely weren't brought up in the proper manner. It doesn't appear that way.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna say, I don't know if
because
I
I
could say
wasn't
they
there.
weren't, but we have all been in situations where we're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that you even had the audacity to look that up.
And I've heard, I don't know how many times when I was growing, what made you even think of something like that?
Yes. Yes.
My mother used to say that all the time. What could make you even think of something like that? And I've repeated it too.
What makes you think that that was going to be okay?
Oh, yeah. Or on what planet did you? All right, baby, go lay down. It's like, but I'm thankful at the end of the day that the one child did come forward and save the life of the other child, whoever the
Yes.
young man was.
Yes, that child definitely needs to be recognized and commemorated for their
Her
their ability,
bravery.
yeah, for their ability to come forward and actually say, "Hey, this is I heard this happen." And my thought on this whole situation, yes, coffee and crime and cats, absolutely. Mine have not discovered Discord. I'm sure that they know about Discord, but mine have not requested that app yet. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. And I probably would decline that one. Um, the other ones are enough for me to have to try to keep up with.
And I don't understand Discord, so, and I don't understand Reddit or any. I had to have my uh, one of my family members. We were transferring money through Cash App, and I couldn't even figure that out. I'm like, tell me how to do this now. And then after it was all said and done, um, I had to go to the bank. Say, how do I get this from here to my bank? And
Oh no.
what?
I didn't know that you had that had those kind of troubles to get them out. So yeah, you figured it out, but um like this is another thought that I'm having. Like, not only did these kids come up with the plan for this, but they even took it a step farther by trying to make it look
Like it was
the,
his idea.
yes, like, how do you even get that thought in your mind at fifth grade? Now let's think about this. Okay, so in sixth grade, I think you're 11. Am I right?
Something like that, 11, 12.
Because Trinity's 12.
Reality says, while you're thinking on that, reality says, my grandson says Discord is horrible as kids are in there all the time, bullying big time. Oh, please. And predators have access to them in there. I agree. Um, I used to I went for about a week, to somebody's channel that believes severely in Discord, to the point where that person made me feel uncomfortable by always wanting to chat on Discord and always wanting to this on Discord and only this on Discord. And it made me uncomfortable. I don't understand Discord, and I don't want to talk to somebody that I'm not married to in that manner in a private setting where my husband doesn't know anything about it. I don't. No, I don't.
Man, and then now they have these VR headsets.
Yeah.
My stepson, like, that just absolutely terrifies me. I'm so glad that we have another family, family household to help with the stepson, because they're the ones that bought him the VR headset. But when I put that on the first time and I actually seen some of the things that you can see in there, just like in some of the games, the access that these kids have to all these different apps and different ways to chat with each other. Like in the VR headset, there's like full on chat rooms, and you create your avatar and you're walking around like this avatar. And a lot of them aren't dressed appropriately. And I'm just
Oh,
these kids have access to this. Like they're playing gorilla tag with each other, and they're playing with people that are dressed like this. I'm shocked at the internet.
okay. Coffee crimes. I don't know what did it. I'm truly worried about. I'm showing that coffee crimes said something about whack-a-mole. When the internet was young, your worry was chat rooms. Now it's never-ending game of whack-a-mole.
Yes.
I see it there. And AI, right? Because I was playing with. I have an AI program through Adobe, and I make some of my avatars or my thumbnails through the AI. And all you got to do is you can type anything in there. But on through Adobe, it doesn't understand things like black man, white man, Hispanic. It doesn't understand things like that.
And that's why I don't actually feel comfortable even working with those AI programs, because in my mind, the more you use the AI program, you're just feeding it. You're just giving it information every time you look something up, and then it's learning and it's learning and it's learning every time somebody asks something.
Reality says AI is Antichrist, in my opinion, mentioned in the Bible. WWW is satanic in nature. I agree. Well, just like with anything else, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I'm not going to argue. But just like anything else, it can be used for good or it can be used for not so good. My husband has an AI program he calls Jasper. Okay, hold on. I'll talk about Jasper in a minute. Reality says, think of Robocop and Terminators. Those two movies were not made by accident. Foretelling in nature. Right, right.
I believe it's Singapore just launched their first AI actual in police enforcement. Like it is a robot, and it shoots water guns at people, like high pressured water. But I'm pretty sure that they just launched their first one.
Well, look at what they did down Texas. They already have 18 wheelers driving the interstate with no person in them because they're AI commanded. So, and CJ and I saw one of those one time. We were robo dogs, yeah. CJ and I were coming back from somewhere we'd been, and this truck passed us on the right hand side going up the hill. And I said, CJ, is anybody driving that truck? He said, no. I stayed back. I rolled back. I wasn't going to be close enough to that truck, who had no way of knowing that I was beside it, in my opinion. I mean, I hear all the time my husband's truck when he's talking to me on the phone. I hear beep, beep, beep. And I said, what's that? He said, somebody's too close to the back of my trailer. And I'm like,
Oh, he's bullying you. He's fooling you. That beep 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 means that he went over the yellow or the white.
he has that, but he also has one that can tell when somebody's on the side of his trailer. in case he was going to switch lanes.
He's just teasing you.
Probably.
It'll beep, beep, beep if he gets too close to the back of another car.
Now, he tries not to do that. He tries to keep people out of the danger zone. But because there's like, when I switch over lanes and I'm going to go in front of an 18 or any vehicle for that matter, I make sure I can see the grill of that vehicle in my rearview mirror, not the side mirrors, but my one in front, so that I know I'm at least 250 feet in front of that vehicle I'm fixing to go in front of, because an 18-wheeler cannot stop on a dime. And they have what is called the unaliving zone right there. It's 250 to 300 feet. And I respect that much space in front and behind an 18-wheeler. So, because if they can't see you, you can't. If they can't see you in their rearview mirrors, if you can't see them in their rearview mirrors, if you can't see their rearview mirror, they can't see you at all.
There you go. I'm going to bounce off what Reality said here a minute ago as well, where she said that she's truly worried about AI. 100%. So I just looked into a story earlier, and this is a story back from, I want to say, like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, where kids like just with this situation, like they may have came to this conclusion by asking AI what they could do about this situation. And the reason that I say that is because I just watched this whole thing where a little girl almost got really, really hurt because she asked AI to give her a challenge. And, like how they have the challenges on TikTok and those types of things. And AI told her to stick her charger, like her phone charger, into the wall socket and leave it hanging out X amount and stick a penny on it. And
No.
yeah, exactly. Could you imagine if she would have actually like went through with that and actually tried to do that challenge?
Okay, Cinderella says she agrees with Reality, and then Reality agrees with you, and then Reality's saying hi to Cinderella. I'm going to keep up with chat here. I don't want to get behind. Um, yeah, I agree with that. I know when I was like 8 years old, Mom used to have us, before school would start, we had to go through everything in our closet and try it on, let Mom see, and if it was too small or too tight, or if we'd grown too tall or whatever, we got new school clothes. Of course, we got new school clothes anyway, don't get me wrong. But I remember we had wire hangers back then. And my younger brother stuck a wire hanger into an outlet socket, with sitting right in the living room, Mom and Dad in the living room right there. He just stuck it in the outlet socket and shocked the you know what out of him. He had burns under his arms and everywhere, and they had taken him to the ER. But it was just, it was scary. It was scary. And that is mild compared to what kids are learning today off of the internet.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's just, this just came from her asking AI. Like, give me a challenge. The same thing that everybody else is doing. Give me a challenge that I can do.
You know, if you ask Grok about something, Grok will say, I do not have access to what is going on currently. It only has access to things that are like 2 or 3 days old and back. So I like Grok. I mean, I wish I could find out more stuff about today's stuff, but Grok can't get that information. Wherever it's programmed from, it cannot get that information, which I think is good, and I wish all AI was that way.
Exactly, Cinderella. Yeah, I'm dumbfounded at what kids have access to, and they're being
Stop fighting.
persuaded
Stop fighting.
or
Thank you.
encouraged. That's the word I'm looking for. They're being encouraged to use AI to learn and to learn about things and create knowledge. And it's like, isn't that what we're here for?
What's the point in having teachers in school? They give them a computer in third or fourth grade, and everything they learn from that grade all the way through their graduating high school is done on a MacBook Pro or Chromebook or whatever you call it. What is the purpose in a teacher?
Yeah, that's how they are today. And it's, yeah.
When I was in school, you had to open a book, you had to read the chapter, you had to answer the questions at the end of the chapter, and at the end of the week, you got a test over what you learned that week.
I don't know. In my opinion, if I had it my way, my kids would not be in school. They would be at home. They would be learning the things that would be getting them through their day-to-day life. And I'm not talking that they don't need school. Everybody needs math. You do use algebra later on in life. Yes, those things need to be taught as well. But I would rather be teaching that to my child and keeping it also fresh in my own brain at the same time than rather sending them to a school that is sitting them in front of a computer and they're watching my kids all day, technically raising my kids until they're 18 and out of school. I mean, they get them more than they're home. They're home for 4 hours and then they go to bed.
Reality says AI robots, in my opinion, can wipe out humanity. Teachers will be obsolete within 10 years. Watch. And then Coffee Crime and Cat said kids can't read an analog clock or make changes. Or read. I have trouble, of course, I'm dyslexic, so that's where my trouble with reading comes from. But I've heard people, I have a family member, I'm not mentioning any names, because she does watch my stuff. So I have a family member that cannot read. She could not read a book if it saved her life. She can read most of it, and she can read the little bits she gets off of Facebook and what have you. But to sit down and read a book, if it has a big word in it, she ain't gonna get it. And even my son that's about to be 18, he can't read the big words because he doesn't know how to sound them out like we were taught as children. Because if I'm doing it here, I have to sound out some of the words because it's hard for me. And then reality says, like Little House on the Prairie. Right, right.
Oh, reality, if I could. Things were so much easier, it looked like, in that show. They were a lot happier.
We were a lot healthier, or they were a lot healthier. Yeah, schools are bad in small cities. Twitter unaliver who unclothed and unalived 8 young women, then kept their torn up something. Dyslexia is difficult. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 25. And when I was in school, I kept getting told I wasn't trying. And it got to the point where my high school years, all I had to do is put my name on my math paper, and I got a D in that class, and I didn't fail. I didn't have to try.
That's where my dyslexia comes in. Mine isn't as bad with the reading. I sometimes I'll realize that I mixed the letters up, but most of the time mine lies within the math.
Go see your daddy. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean.
Sorry, she has to run to the bank.
That's okay. Do you have to be back at 5?
5, yes.
Okay, I'll take you back. Okay, so you have time to take a break. We'll end our live before that, and I'll take you back. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, it's hard to have dyslexia, and the way I found out to even know, I had never heard what dyslexia was, but I was working in a convenience store, and we had to do paperwork at the end of our shift, and my supervisor, who I ended up later marrying, but that's another story. He told me, he says, "Are you dyslexic?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "Well, you need to go get checked." He said, "Because you're putting all of your totals backwards." And I put my totals, I see the numbers backwards. And if I'm really tired, I still do it really bad now, but I've learned to overcome a lot of it. And then Cinderella says there was a while schools didn't teach phonics, and that changed. Yeah. And then Reality says he in the shoulder and in the stomach, he fell to the ground, and in the back of the head, when asked why, he said because he could. Reality, what did I miss? Did I miss a comment somewhere? Her grandson was dyslexic, and then I'm gonna try to read between the lines here and get that he was hit in the shoulder, and then in the stomach, and when he fell to the ground, hit in the back of the head, and when the other person was asked why, the other person said because they could. I've heard that a lot. Not that exact situation, but I've heard when kids are asked why, they be told because I can. Well, no, you can't. Not right. And then a lot of us are not good at math. My grandmother, she could come up with an answer faster than a calculator, faster than I could type it in on a calculator. And my dad was the same way. But not me. I can't do math in my head. So, but anyway, this is a very sad story. And I pray that those girls grow up knowing right from wrong.
I pray that they get the therapy and the help that they need to be able to express these types of emotions properly.
Right. The creep has no remorse. Right. Right. Reality says the creep has. That sums it up for a lot of things in society right now. People do not have remorse. And if you're going to hurt somebody, you have no remorse over it. We went through lack of remorse phase with CJ when he was younger. No, I'm watching the sentencing of the psycho from Texas. He was asked why he did, and he said because he could. Oh, oh, I see. Okay. I don't know what you're watching, but it sounds interesting. All right. So I am going to get off of here so that when he's finished eating, I can take him to work and he can be back to work on time. And I'm going to figure out something between my moderator and I. We'll figure out something to talk about tomorrow, unless we hear of another good story like the one Reality brought to us today. Thank you, Reality. Thank you. All right. With that being said, do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile today, and get Locker. Thank you. Thank you.